Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today as we embark on an exciting journey together. Again, I'd like to remind you that this information is embargoed until 8 p.m. California time. 75 years ago, 16 people came together to form the organization that would become known as Helicopter Association International. Our founders were risk takers who sought to lead a brand new industry. They were competitors, but they were also recognized the power of coming together to have a bigger voice and pursue common goals. Since then, helicopters have become a vital part of daily life. We provide security, connection, life-saving services, and support for modern life. But our industry has never settled for the status quo. Technology is expanding the definition of vertical capable aircraft in ways our founders could never have imagined. And as the industry has, our association needs to expand as well. To honor our past, secure the present, and embrace our future, we are taking on a new name. You'll see a lot of changes over the next few months, but our dedication to grow, protect, and support this industry will never change. It is with immense pride and enthusiasm that I stand before you as the chair of the board of directors of what was once known as Helicopter Association International, but is now known as Vertical Aviation International, or VAI.
And of course, it's not wanting to run either. Everything runs.
All right, another round of applause. Today marks a significant moment in our organization's history, a moment filled with growth, unity, and a shared vision for the future. Our vision at VAI is clear and ambitious: to be the world's most vital membership association for the entire vertical aviation industry. We are committed to shaping the future of our growing industry, driving that growth, and ensuring that communities worldwide benefit from the incredible capabilities of vertical flight. We will fuel the growth of the vertical aviation industry by connecting individuals and organizations, providing valuable education, advocating for our industry at state, federal, and international levels, supporting our businesses, and above all else, prioritizing safety. Ultimately, we can strengthen communities globally, leveraging the power of vertical flight to make a positive impact. You might be wondering why we embarked on this rebranding journey. The answer is simple. The vertical aviation industry is expanding rapidly, with new aircraft and technologies taking to the skies. Our members saw this change unfolding and sought to unite the vertical flight industry under a single banner. As VAI, we amplify our voice, advocate effectively with legislators and regulators, and harness our unique abilities to better our communities. The decision to rebrand was made unanimously by our dedicated board of directors as part of our long-term strategic plan. It directed us to unify the industry around a new vision of vertical aviation. We are committed to bringing together all segments of the industry. The rebranding process has been a purposeful process spanning over 3 years of hard work. We engaged a specialized firm with expertise in association branding. Through interviews, landscape analysis, extensive research, member outreach, surveys, and brand workshops, we carefully crafted our new identity. Importantly, every change, from the new name to the colors, tagline, and even the name of our exposition, was unanimously supported by our board. This change is more than just a name. We are evolving into Vertical Aviation International, complete with a fresh logo, vibrant colors, and a broader look to be more inclusive. An important part of the character of this organization is our annual convention, HEI Heli-Expo, which we all love and are here for today. To further this rebranding effort, we have reimagined the annual convention and named it Verticon. Yes, thank you. Everything that you've come to learn about our annual show will grow with us. You'll still be able to see the incredible aircraft from manufacturers around the world. New technologies will be unveiled that will change the world's perception of vertical flight. The latest and greatest aircraft, engines, equipment, and accessories that keep us in the air and safe will be on display. The valuable education and training courses will still be there. Most importantly, there will be plenty of opportunities for our members to expand their network. Keep in mind, our membership still includes the entire vertical aviation industry. If you are VTOL, short takeoff and landing, or support the industry, you're welcome in our hangar. Let me assure you that the heart and soul of our organization remain unchanged. We are building upon our rich history, and our commitment to connecting, educating, advocating for, and promoting safety in the vertical aviation industry is stronger than ever. Now, you might wonder if helicopters will still hold importance in our organization. The answer is a resounding yes. Helicopters remain central and integral to our mission, serving our fellow citizens and playing a vital role in modern society, and they always will. However, what we define as vertical aviation is rapidly expanding. We have an opportunity to embrace uncrewed aircraft systems and an increasingly diversified fleet for the benefit of all vertical aviation. Beyond the name change, our commitment to offering the industry's best advocacy, communication channels, safety programs, education, and network opportunities remain unwavering. I strongly encourage all aspects of our vibrant industry to join us in this next exciting chapter of Vertical Aviation International. Together, we will power up and shape the future of vertical flight. Welcome to Vertical Aviation International. Thank you. Jim?
Well, thanks, Nicole. Today, I'm thrilled to present to you the Vertical Aviation International, representing a significant shift in the world of vertical aviation. This transformation brings growth, unity, and innovation to the forefront. Rebranding as VAI is a critical step in unifying the entire industry, because VAI advocates for, connects, and serves the entire global vertical aviation industry. We enable its success, and we are helping members, both large and small, thrive in this industry. The important work of the association will be enhanced by this increased scope. VAI will continue to promote excellence and connect the industry to focus on common goals. Our open lines of communication are vital as we advocate for our industry's value and utility while promoting community compatibility. We will engage in all aspects of this dynamic industry to strengthen our position in the global aviation space. Safety and advocacy will always be at the forefront of all of our activities, and VAI remains dedicated to providing high-quality education and training tailored to vertical aviation operators. We understand that aviation professionals continually seek to sharpen their skills, learn new technologies, and perform training on a regular basis. We also leverage this connection in VAI to address one of the biggest issues facing aviation, the incredible demand for pilots, mechanics, and engineers and other industry professionals. Becoming VAI will strengthen us both as an association and as an industry, but this rebranding is only part of our larger strategic plan. VAI's strategic initiatives reflect our commitment to strengthen our growing industry. The rebranding effort was part of a larger strategic plan developed in late 2022. It is one of 5 initiatives to support the future of vertical aviation. Our first initiative is rooted in the desire to unify industry around a new vision of vertical aviation while promoting community compatibility. Central to this effort is rebranding to VAI, a transformation that represents our commitment to inclusion. Our new website, verticalavi.org, will serve as a hub for information and resources, ensuring seamless access for our members and industry. As we celebrate 75 years, we will expand our organization through a fresh membership campaign, welcoming everyone involved in vertical aviation to join our association. Our engagement with our operators, manufacturers, and the international community remains central to this association. The senior VAI leadership actively provides guidance and fosters dialogues on key initiatives with our allies. Our second initiative, focusing on engagement and advocacy to create a favorable environment for the entire industry to succeed. VAI strives to engage all stakeholders, regulators, legislators, and all aviation professionals to help the entire industry thrive and prosper. By expanding our focus to encompass the entire vertical aviation industry, we enhance our ability to engage stakeholders in the global value chain. VAI advocates for performance-based standards, enabling civil aviation authorities like the International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, to create a meaningful framework and rules that encourage innovation and harmonization. We aim for a global infrastructure standard that will serve all powered lift aircraft, reflecting the modern industry. And if you look at some of the classes that are being offered here at Heli-Expo, you'll see that that's exactly what connection events like this do. Our commitment to sustainability is underscored by our initiatives such as promoting sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, and providing advancing new technologies to powered vertical aircraft. We have put this SAF effort into action by providing biofuel to all aircraft participating in this year's Heli-Expo. VAI is proud to lead the effort for our industry. We are also proud to be a founding father in the Climbing Fast campaign, led by the National Business Aircraft Aviation Association, in its advocacy initiative to showcase business aviation's many benefits and to seek net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Thank you for your leadership, NBAA. Through strategic partnership and government engagement, we are driving progress on regulatory mandates and sustainability goals, ensuring a brighter future for all aviation. In line with our dedication to better serve our members, we have launched VAI's Regional Representation Program to strengthen partnerships and address industry issues at the grassroots level. With Chuck Street on the West Coast and Josh Brashlew in the Northeast, we are amplifying our advocacy efforts and forging new industry alliances. With these regional reps in place, we have enhanced our advocacy effort for the long and the short term. This is especially important as several critical policy initiatives are working their way through the government, in Congress, at federal agencies, and at the state level. Despite the ongoing delays in the FAA reauthorization process, our government affairs team has tirelessly lobbied both the House and the Senate for inclusion of VAI priorities and defending against government overreach and government overreach in the reauthorization bill. To ensure that our voices are heard on Capitol Hill, we led an advancing air mobility briefing for transportation committee members. And this is just one example of your association actively engaging with policymakers. Doing so, we shape the legislation that supports the growth and sustainability of all of vertical aviation. Turning to the executive branch, we have been embroiled in an ongoing fight to keep our national parks open to air tours. Despite strong opposition from the National Park Service, we firmly believe that this access to these beautiful landmarks is vital for tourism, to communities they support, and for preserving access to all national parks. VAI is engaged with Congress on this issue. Recently, two esteemed members of VAI, including Vice Chair Mark Slafley and Jake Tomlin, the President and CEO of Papillon Helicopters, testified at a House Oversight Committee on Air Tour Management Plans, or ATMPs. Additionally, VAI is setting up an ATMP legal defense fund to protect passengers' rights to experience our national parks from the air. We believe it is essential to preserve our national parks to enable visitation opportunities for all to enjoy. One size fits all, driven by the ideology, is not how we should be deciding how public access should be chosen to visit these parks. The air tour industry also provides a vital workforce pipeline to the rest of the vertical aviation community. Our entire ecosystem is impacted by the loss of jobs in the air tour sector. Our commitment to community compatibility has led us to collaborate closely with federal and local policymakers and other local stakeholders on the importance of maintaining community support for vertical aviation. We recognize the importance of working hand in hand with policymakers to address concerns and find mutually beneficial solutions. An example, in Washington, D.C. area, VAI worked closely with federal and local representatives and other stakeholders to successfully implement a helicopter operations complaint system to more accurately establish more accurately establish data on the community's concerns. Through these efforts, we helped institute route and altitude changes to mitigate sound concerns. Our advocacy also extends to protecting local vertical aviation infrastructure. An example here of our proactive approach is our recent campaign to preserve the Indianapolis heliport, recognizing its significance to the local community and the broader aviation industry. VAI is leading a campaign to ensure its continued operation. So the advocacy efforts of VAI demonstrate our unwavering commitment to safeguarding the interests of your industry and ensuring its long-term viability. By collaborating with policymakers and stakeholders at all levels, we can overcome challenges, seize opportunities, and pave the way for a brighter future for vertical aviation. Safety. Safety is and will remain paramount for VAI and the entire vertical aviation industry. As part of our third strategic initiative, VAI is committed to elevating safety culture through the value chain, strengthened by our comprehensive training and certification programs. From updating our accreditation program of safety to enhancing educational offerings and industry partnerships, we are committed to equipping our members with the tools and resources they need to mitigate risks successfully. Our Evaluate Safety program has been expanded to include updated educational offerings and member benefits that are needed by our operators, especially for uncrewed aircraft, law enforcement, and air medical operators. In 2024, we are doubling down on the commitment to safety with the launch of new services such as operational risk and resilience, accreditation, and flight data monitoring, programs that empower our members to enhance operational performance and safety. In addition to our numerous safety programs, we will drive international harmonization of safety standards, ensuring healthy growth and continued maturity of the broader aviation safety culture. Our fourth initiative aims at development of business resources that elevate operational performance and support small business members. Through programs like the Legal Resources Directory, the Flight Training and Checking Program, and the Safety Management Assessment Program, we are equipping our members with the tools needed to prosper in an ever-evolving industry landscape. Most importantly, we want to ensure small business members are appropriately and effectively represented. To this end, we have established the VAI Small Business Industry Advisory Council to identify the key needs of small business operators and develop specific benefits to address these needs. And they, too, are meeting this week at Heli-Expo. Finally, our fifth initiative centers on developing a pathway that attracts and maintains the best workforce in the world. From outreach to maintenance technical schools to creation of mentorship and apprenticeship programs, we are committed to growing the next generation of industry professionals. Addressing the shortage of skilled personnel is a top priority. VAI's Workforce Development Working Group is developing a pathway to guide the industry in recruiting and retaining the next generation of workers. We are expanding the state-based Rotor Pathway program, creating a seamless journey from high school through professional licensing to internships and mentoring opportunities. We are also boosting our professional ranks through our Mil to Civ program that is ongoing as we're here, that seeks to help service members transition from military to civilian life. Our strategic initiatives represent our plan to support and guide the future of this industry. In one instance, the future is already here. I am proud to report that there was a helicopter flying on another planet. The Mars Ingenuity aircraft was an important part of NASA's effort to explore our solar system. Though it was scheduled for just 5 flights, it extended its mission to 72. 5 to 72. Incredible. I want to take a moment to recognize the professionals at NASA and JPL, the Joint Propulsion Lab, who made this absolute feat unbelievable. Now let us look at the current state of industry and recognize the remarkable achievements that defined the past year. First and foremost, I'd like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Sikorsky on reaching their momentous 100th anniversary. This incredible milestone is a testament to their unwavering dedication and resilience, especially in this ever-evolving aviation industry. I also want to express my gratitude to AeroAsset for their contribution of sales data, which provides us with critical insights into the industry's performance. So looking back at 2023, it is evident that it was a positive year for our industry. Despite various challenges, single-engine aircraft sales soared, with the supply of used aircraft surpassing the demand. This led to an increase in average prices, both domestically as well as international. On the other hand, sales of pre-owned twin-engine helicopters remained relatively stable, albeit with a slight decline in the international demand. However, AeroAsset forecasts that domestic sales will remain stable with potential adjustments in international sales. Furthermore, new aircraft sales witnessed a significant uptick, with Rotorcraft manufacturers reporting positive sales, particularly in military and civil markets. Looking ahead to 2024 and beyond, the outlook for our industry is incredibly promising, with numerous aircraft companies conducting first flights, seeking certification, or launching new technologies. There is a lot of new technology on the floor out there. Airbus is gearing up for the maiden flight of Racer and City Airbus Next Gen. Bell is continuing to promote the 525 and is working to meet the growing demand of the 412 EPX, especially for firefighting missions. Similarly, Leonardo aims to introduce their virtual and extended reality simulator and capitalize on the international success of the tiltrotor AW609. Enstrom is on track to receive certification for its crash-resistant fuel system and glass panel cockpits, accompanied by plans to expand their dealership and service center network globally. MD Helicopters and Robinson are both focused on elevating their brand and enhancing their customers' experience. Sikorsky continues to make remarkable progress on its Matrix autonomy flight control system. On the advanced air mobility front, companies like Jaunt, Joby, and Wisk, which Wisk you will see on the floor, are making significant strides with exciting developments on the horizon. So as we look ahead to the future, let us remain optimistic and proactive in driving innovation and progress within our industry. Together, we have the power to overcome challenges and to shape a brighter vertical aviation. Thank you again for joining us here today, and I think now we'll take any questions you have for Nicole and I.
I'm Cynthia Glenn, and I'm with InFlight USA in San Mateo, California. Exciting, exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
Really, really exciting. As a pilot, I'm very, very thrilled that you have a focus on education and training. I think and I hope my story is unique. It took 14 months for me to get my check ride. And I didn't hear you say what your plan is to increase the dearth of DPEs, particularly in the rotor sector.
So that's the question. All right, so certainly, what we do for collaboration and working with the regulators, and so that's specific to what state you're from or what FSDO services you. I mean, there's so many variables, but what we do at VAI is we meet with federal regulators monthly. We meet with flight standards. We meet with aircraft certification. So by having meetings with flight standards, we can try to address those problems. There is an agreement with, we visited the administrator. The current AVS-1, David Bolcher, has promised 100 new designated pilot examiners. So in a room with a handshake, that's supposed to be happening. I don't know how long ago your situation was, but I know it's something that we're not going to let the pressure up on. And those are things, especially with the workforce development and trying to get new pilots, mechanics, and engineers online, we cannot let up the pressure on that. And my staff knows that. I've worked them pretty hard at making sure that we keep pressure on the regulators, and we have to fix those issues. All right.
Well, congratulations. Gideon Ewers, Road Hub International. With the changing scope of the association and moving into, as you said, the international stage, are there any plans to establish some kind of permanent representation office in Montreal to have that constant presence at ICAO?
Well, thank you very much for that question. So we do have another part of one of the hats in my position is the International Federation of Helicopter Associations. And so as the chairman of that organization, we are going to do a 2.0 renew of what we've done there over there. That was stood up in 1986. And so it's kind of been, there is an avenue, and having someone in Montreal is an option. We haven't made those decisions yet, but we want to make sure that we are working globally to, again, help with the whole infrastructure of how are we going to do these advanced aircraft. It's not only based on the capability and the power plant of the aircraft, but as the infrastructure and some of the infrastructure meetings, again, that are going on here during Heli-Expo, we have to make sure that, what works well for one region works well for all regions. And I think doing that through partnerships in ICAO and European Helicopter Associations, the partnership we did with them. So there's no one bullet that can make that happen, especially at the international level. But so again, it's an area that, so my person that works that is Chris Martino, and I told Chris Martino he can get Heli-Expo over for this year, and then the next thing, what we're putting on one of our priorities is to relook at the International Federation of Helicopter Associations, and that's on my international speech for Thursday morning. So thank you for the question.
No other questions?
Yeah, well, I want to go back to the other one. We're talking about designated pilot examiners and trying to, if someone's stuck for that long, it's totally unacceptable. In theory, I think by flight standards policy, it should be 15, no longer than 30 days. And if we have issues like that, those are ones that I really appreciate a phone call. She's gone. A phone, a phone call, and what we really want to do is figure out how to fix the problem, where it's actually broke, where's the hurdle. So I really do enjoy taking on what's working, what isn't working. Because if we just settle for reduced standards, it's just not the right thing. In aviation, we continually try to improve our standards. So if it's going in the wrong direction, especially on workforce development, We've got other members that can help out in those areas. We've got designated pilot examiners that are part of our membership. And so we have ways of helping our membership. Wait, don't you work on government affairs team? Yeah, no, I mean, certainly we're engaged in the HI team or the VAI team is heavily engaged in, you see John and Cade and what they constantly keep their fingers on things. And then right now, there's some stuff that's not good for industry, so we're trying to see how we can help tweak that. And then that's where we work the FAA as well. So, I mean, there's so many different levels to try to pull, and I think as an association with 75 years of experience behind us, we're doing our best. And I know sometimes it's tough, but then you heard what I was talking about as far as the ATMP. We're looking at segments of the industry that need support, and, so we've got a way to, how can VAI help do that? And it may be some monetary figures to help us with that current segment. There's some work we've done in Hawaii, I don't know if you touch on that, when we have a certain segment that's really been over-regulated, or we've got local authorities that are trying to kill small businesses, we've got to look for resources to be able to really attack those areas.
Yes. There is a... Thanks, Ken.
Ken Swartz, Vertical Flight Society. What's your data show in terms of pilot retirements, pilot demand, mechanic retirements, mechanic demand? I guess is part of your reorientation, part of it is that recruitment and retention. Do you have any numbers? I know a few years ago you did a market study with UND, but has there been any updated, where we are today and where we need to be?
Yeah, no, thanks for the question. GAMA has just reached out to General Aviation Manufacturers Association, is trying to right now get some of us to all partner together to do another study. I did tell Pete Bunce that we were in on helping provide the funds for that study. So yeah, that's a group where we don't have to do it by ourselves. So we want to get the right group together, and it's time to update that study, especially after the pandemic. But my concerns, from what I hear from the members out there, is that the maintenance side of the house is where I'm really concerned, because I think they're the ones who are really overworked right now. If you don't have a pilot, the aircraft's not flying. But if you squeeze the heck out of your maintenance guys, and then that pilot's got to get in an aircraft that had somebody tired working on, that's where I'm concerned, as we're moving down the road here.
Yeah, and just a comment, we developed the Workforce Development Working Group in the last 2 years, and so that would be a great place to go to learn a little bit more at a granular level on what we're doing. But it's top priority. It's in our top 5 strategic initiatives, as you saw Jim speak about today.
Thanks. Guy Norris from Aviation Week. Obviously, the rebranding clearly reflects the broader sort of development of the vertical lift industry, and particularly the eVTOLs. Have any eVTOL manufacturers or developers were already previously HAI members? And if not, do you expect obviously a big ramp up in membership because of this?
Yeah, absolutely. They have been members for at least 2 years. The roadmap that we published, AAM roadmap, the last 2 Heli-Expos, we don't have an update this one, but the last 2 Heli-Expos, we had them all come together for that roadmap. We've just done some extracts from that roadmap to send specifically to regulators out there. So yeah, it's called the Industry Advisory Council. Has been working well for us. So they all need the same infrastructure to operate. And so that's where, our great partnership with the Vertical Flight Society and the smart engineers that develop these great vehicles, and then infrastructure to operate these vehicles. And so having them on board, that's why I am absolutely thrilled that we are not only talking the talk of, hey, you're part of our vertical aviation, if you're less than 200 feet, less than 200 knots, and you take off or land like a helicopter, you are part of the Vertical Aviation International, and I think this is like kind of almost complete closing the book that, okay, yes, you are part of us. I've been telling you that for years, and now, thanks to the board and the rebranding, we are all together.
And as Jim said, you'll see Whisk here this week.
Yeah.
So they'll have a prototype. And when we looked at even bringing some prototypes here, sometimes that's also a little bit difficult. So I think over the next few years, you're going to see a visual representation of that even more at Verticon, as we talked about. So that will be very exciting.
PJ, there's a question in the back. Greg Napert.
Greg Napier from Helicopter Maintenance Magazine. On kind of moving towards Verticon, I guess I'm asking, what can we anticipate that's going to be different and new? Are we going to have more drone technology, more any content that we can look forward to for Verticon?
Well, as I mentioned, of course, you're going to be seeing all the latest and greatest technologies and vertical capable aircraft, at our show, just like we always have, from the past until now, it's been helicopters and all of their greatest technologies. But, as our definition of membership expands, you're going to continue to see, the latest and greatest. But one of the things we also wanted to say that's really, really important is that the heart of our show is going to remain the same. So, it's really an extension of the rebranding of the entire association. And if you can think of it like that, you'll know everything that's going to be at the show, because it's basically, expanding, our family into all of the latest and greatest technology.
Anything else? Okay, well, thank you for joining us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As promised, here's the link to the media kit. Jim and Nicole will be available after this for interviews, as will some of our board members.